High Plains Technology Center, turning education and training into workplace success.
Oh, back to school, to prove to Dad that I'm not a fool.
High Plains Technology Center, education at the speed of business. School is now in session.
All right, here we are, another Wednesday morning. Taylor Burnett with you, talking all things High Plains Technology Center. Beautiful, already into October, smell of pumpkin spice and Halloween. Michael Myers is in the air, my favorite kind of time of year, even though it's really Christmas and NCAA basketball. But I digress. So I've got two guests today, kind of wanted to bring them on. I call them my right hand, my left hand. I'll let you guys assume and try to figure out who is what. And it does vary at times because one actually goes lower than the right or the left hand because they sink all the way to the bottom at times. No, I'm just joking. But no, two people I can't do my job without. All right, go ahead. Introduce yourselves.
Good morning, Taylor.
Go introduce
Tammy
yourself.
Kelln, High Plains, ACD coordinator.
All right, and
Morning, guys. I'm Stephen Rogers. Do a little bit of everything with the GWO, Global Wind Organization, and industrial training.
you know, I wanted to have you guys both on because we kind of like to have leadership on at the little bit at the beginning, and people really, I every time that people talk about High Plains Technology Center, they skip over our part a little bit in essence, and it's still a little bit of an educational process with that. And I want to kind of you two to bring on, even though we do this yearly. It still doesn't. It still gets lost. But I want you to come on and talk about what you do. And in mind, remember, I am probably going to bring on some instructors later on that are underneath you guys as well. But tell exactly what ACD coordinator entails. Oh, bright one, Tammy Kelln.
Well, I have
Eat that mic.
I have a lot of the daytime classes, adult classes. I have CNA classes, CMA classes. CNA is certified nurse aide.
Boy,
yeah, I did. It's actually long-term care aide on the website.
I know, long-term care aide.
And people get confused on that.
Yes.
So long-term care aide is CNA. And then I also have medication aide, and that's what a lot of the nursing homes are using to pass their meds to their patients.
Stephen just calls that a drug dealer. But
Yeah.
Okay.
You do too at times, but that's okay. But that certified medication aid, I offer it every 2 or 3 months. But the long-term care aid class, that class runs once a month. And you can find both of those classes on our website at hptc.edu. I also have some CPR and first aid classes. And I have one of those that are coming up on Monday, October 7th. And that's going to be an evening class. That's going to be a CPR class. And the Heart Saver class is for daycares, or not medical facilities, that would be BLS, but your people that have the fitness centers.
Okay, I was trying to figure out weight. I'm like, man, calling out people real fast.
That's what Heart Saver would be.
Okay.
So the Heart Saver CPR is going to be Monday, October 7th, and then the first aid class will be that following Tuesday. And those are both evening classes, and that's why I have to break it up, because those are 4-hour classes, and we can't start a 4-hour class at 5 o'clock. We'll have problems. So I have the CDL class too.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to. That's one of the other reasons why I had you come on as well.
That's kind of a popular class.
So how many spots do you have available with the CDL
the
class?
October class is full.
Oh, guess what? You want to take it this month? You're
filled
out of
that
luck.
yesterday at 4 o'clock.
Okay, I was going to say, if you want to take the CDL class, we had a spot, but we do not have a spot anymore.
I had to get a hold of Katie
rolls.
and get that taken off. So our next class that we have availability in is February. That class is going to start February 3rd, and it goes to March 12th.
Okay.
That class, people kind of squirm at the price. That's $4,800 for that class, but it is the cheapest in the state, and that includes the entire class, starting with the DOT physical. Goes to the permit, a drug screen, and then the class, and then the testing in the end. So they'll walk away with a CDL.
And with CDL, just so everybody knows, we don't set the price, but we work in conjunction with another technology center that really has this down to a T. One point in time, when Stephen and I first started, we kind of went down the road of CDL. a lot of upkeep, a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of effort, and the laws have changed now. So why is it important to take CDL? Because it is.
It's federal
required.
rule.
Yeah,
I mean,
federal.
it's something that's federally required now, and you have to have it if you cross state lines, even with farm. You've got to have that now. So it's very, very important.
It's
that
mandatory.
You've got to,
Yeah,
is.
there's no ifs,
If you
ands,
get
or
caught
buts
without
about
it now, you're in big trouble.
I mean, because Stephen, you kept your. I'm putting it out for the world to say. You kept your CDL,
Right.
you know,
For sure, get my CDL.
but you know, back in the day when you're a firefighter, how did you get it? He doesn't want to say.
But it's absolutely something you do not want to get rid of. If you've got it, don't let it expire.
Because I talked to someone that moved up into administration, and they were telling me the other day, they go, "Yeah, I still have my CDL." And I go, "You better keep it.
Yes.
Keep it as long as you can, because if you let that lapse, it's a little bit of a different scenario. You still go on for your medical, still continue that on." Because it's very vital.
Very vital.
And it's something great that you can always fall back on as well if something
Absolutely. If you have a
happens.
CDL, you will always have a job.
You're pretty marketable.
You can.
You know, and that's when we talk about the two things that we do, especially when we talk about the adult classes with the CDL, with the WIN class, with the LPN, with the CNA. Guess what, folks? Those jobs are pretty high demand. And medical is always number one, and you know, wind is number two. But I know that truck drivers are up there as well, especially when it comes to over the road. And if you want to really work more hours, you can. And if you want to get out of this territory, you can. All those you can move and have other jobs, even though we want you to stay in our county, stay in our district. But so yeah, Stephen.
Well, and I also
Eat that mic.
I also think bringing up the fact that like local people that are looking for truck drivers. I mean, I had a guy on Friday night talk to me about two of the hires that he just had from our truck driving. What do you call it? Academy or school?
We just
call it CDL.
Okay,
Yeah.
CDL
School.
program. Okay, and they've been great hires for him. He said out of all the schools he's seen people come out of, that this has been the two best that he's seen from that.
The cool thing with that CDL too is you go in, you don't have anything other than, you know, when you have to have a little bit of prerequisite. Yeah, more importantly, you have to be able to pass the drug test. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Absolutely.
And have to have a good driving record. But you go in and you leave with the driver's license in your
Yes,
hand,
you
and
have
you
it.
don't have to go anywhere other than our campus.
And something that's really important that people might not understand is we do the testing on our campus.
Yes, that's
it's
what
not
I'm saying.
something that they have to go somewhere else and do. That was always kind of a fight, going to someplace else and doing a test with someone you didn't know. You're actually doing your testing and stuff with people that you've already basically been working with.
And you literally leave with the license in
Yes.
your hand or
Yes.
the paper in your
Yes.
hand, depending upon
Absolutely.
however long. So that is cool. So, Stephen, tell a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure. So anything to do with health and safety, from wind energy to oil and gas to industrial to fire rescue. We train a lot of different facets between those companies there. Wind energy was one of our biggest right now. When I first started, oil and gas and industrial was by far the biggest. That. But right now, wind energy is taking off, and we're starting to see the oil and gas stuff uptick. And so we're getting more and more classes. One of the things is we're more customizable than people understand.
There you go.
And that's just calling us. We come out, we take a look at what you're doing, and that's usually free of charge, depending on where you're at. Free of charge for one of our instructors or myself to come out, take a look at your programs, what you're doing, how you're doing it, and just give you an idea of how we can better help you and in a, I guess, costly way to get your safety and health programs for ISNets, for all those fun programs, and keep those up.
You said a horrible word right there. A lot of people are swerving off the side of the road when you mention ISNet and Veriforce and things like that. So.
Yeah, and those are things that we can help on. We don't actually offer those services right now, but like you saw, we had a gentleman come in last week, and there's things here that we can sit down and really kind of help you navigate through some things, and hopefully help out with any questions. That's part of our services for Northwest Oklahoma.
And I'm going to put my hat on because right now this is something we are very passionate about, because really what we are here for is to help the area businesses grow, help the area businesses thrive, survive. do whatever they can be to keep those doors open. And, we are very extremely affordable when it comes to our area businesses. And that's what we want to do. The thing that at times it gets a little bit discouraging, and I don't know if anybody remembers me talking about this, but, what we can offer a lot of times gets overlooked by the area companies, but yet we are training people from all over the United States, some even globally, that are coming to our campus because of the training that we can provide. And I love that both, Stephen brought up the customizable, because listen, I brought Tammy on to really talk about if there's something that you think that's an adult class that's evening, that is something that's needed, we're going to throw it against the wall and see if it sticks. And we're probably going to throw it against the wall and see if it sticks a couple of times. And we're going to see if it makes. A lot of times, a lot of people come up with great ideas, making plants and cutting plants and things, and some of those classes stick. Beekeeping, we never thought. She loves to mention it. I know, she loves to mention it. I was like, there's no way. But it's one of our most popular classes, and it is something pretty cool because I like local honey. That's one way I don't have, allergies at times. But there's things like that we can try, because it's bettering yourself and it's companies bettering themselves, right? So what's the one thing, since we're kind of, we could go on forever. You guys know me more than anything. What's the one thing that brings you the most passion when it comes to High Plains Technology Center, Tammy? Because you've been in this role
5, this is going on 6 years.
Okay. Feels like 19.
Yes, it does, Taylor. I will agree.
Even though I haven't been out there 19 years, I've only been out there 15. But no, go ahead.
Okay, are you asking like on my side, my job, what I do?
Yeah.
I absolutely love that in a 2-week time period that I can put someone to work. They can come in and take a class and take a test and be out to work and have a certification in 2 weeks' time and be supporting their family.
Love that. Because, I love the CNA class, because that's where people find out if they love the medical field.
Yes.
And if anybody's been in a hospital, anybody's been around healthcare, understands, no offense to everybody else, nurses really make that world go around, in my opinion. And if you want to find out if you can do that CNA transition to CMA, you have to be a CNA for 6 months, transition to that CMA, transition to that LPN, go on to your RN, go on to your CRNA, go on to your, doctorate. There's just certain things that you can do, and I love that, and I love what we can offer, because I agree with you. That is one of the coolest things that we can do, in my opinion. Yeah. Okay. Steven, what's one thing that
I thought we were out of time. I think the biggest thing for me, and she has her side as well with it, but just a standard CPR class, and that's one thing that I think is overlooked by a lot of different companies and a lot of people out there, because they can be boring. But I think High Plains does a really good job of keeping them upbeat and exciting. But I can't tell you how many people we've had come back after just taking a 4 or 5 hour CPR class that have had a story. Hey, we were part of a wreck, or we were part of, my aunt or uncle. So I think that's something that's really underutilized for our area, is just because I don't know how many instructors you have on that.
I have 4.
Okay.
On my side, but then you add
on
into your side.
Yeah,
there's probably 10, 15 of us.
Right, and a lot of those people have real world knowledge, whether it comes from fire service or emergency services type atmosphere. But having our business in the medical field, there were still things that I wish we would have taken advantage of, and that's kind of one of them, is having that CPR there. And so, because those real life scenarios, those real life stories make the class roll, but it also makes our instructors go, okay, this person was listening, because teaching adults, everybody says teaching kids are tough. I don't know. Teaching adults can be pretty rough at times as well.
Absolutely.
That's why I always try to tell everybody, teach the class as if you wanted to be sitting in that class. And that's what I love. I mean, honestly, if anybody out there has taken a Steven Rogers Captain America class, they have probably laughed more, but they have been paying attention because of the energy you bring. And that's
if you're not paying attention, he'll do things to make you pay attention.
Even if you're teaching with him. So
that's true. Yeah.
I'm glad to have you both on, and we really can talk about it until people come out and see it. It's really hard to understand, but I'm glad to have you both on, because High Plains wouldn't be what it is without the two of you, and I know your dedication, and I know that I couldn't do my job without the two of you. Barkley never tells me that, so I thought I would tell you both that publicly. No, more than anything. So
Tammy's tearing up.
yeah, right. Yeah, no,
Yeah, I'm a teary
she's
person.
actually punching me under the table is what she is. So, but everybody have a great week. It'll be Katie with you next week, as I will be in humid Orlando, unfortunately, for work. But yeah, and everybody enjoy your week and dominate the day. Oh, pumpkin! Hey, go to the pumpkin patch this weekend. By the way, as well, Western Plains. Since we have 2 out of 3 board members, go to the McDonald's and check that out. Steven was quiet. He reminded me of that though. All right, thanks. We'll talk to you later.